Decides to quit his job and heads for New York City. This cowboy's running from himself, and she's been living on the higher shelf. When they come unstuck, later running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be left undone. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat because you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, I just gotta know if you're gonna stay. You just gotta know. 'Cause I can't have it any other way. Well, I swear she's destined for the screen, the closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. And they come unstuck, later running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark.
Hey everyone, I'm going to bring Kevin's audio up there. Hello to my co-host Kevin.
Hello, how are you?
And I am Kristi, and this is Kevin and Kristi's Happy Hour, which all 10 of you in the chat know because you saw the tweet and you came to the show, so I don't really need to introduce
I totally blanked me. I asked you a question, and you just went, I'm just going to do the show intro, Kev. Shut the fuck up.
I was really distracted because I was checking your audio levels and not really listening to what you said, so could you repeat it, please?
I just said, how are you?
Oh, yeah, it's been, I'm ready for it to be another week, I think. And yourself? How's the cat retching coming?
Oh, the cat retching. I had a strange situation, and I came up with the phrase, the retching cat of Damocles. Yeah, that's I'm like an ancient scribe in so many ways. But Rory Katz was retching above me on the sofa. Like I was lying down on the sofa, and he was on the back rest bit, and he was retching, and I thought I really should move, and I didn't.
No.
It was like it was a sword of Damocles, but with cat vomit.
You took the risk, but you didn't have to pay the price.
It paid off, yes. I am currently cat vomit free. So.
Well, that's a successful Sunday, I'd say, in my view. By the way, I had the completely wrong screen, so as you've been talking, I've had to completely readjust my window to reflect the new reality of the screen I'm on. So
what the fuck are you talking about?
People in the chat will know.
These are just fucking noises coming out of your face at this point.
Whereas you have like really pretty pictures when you do a stream. I just had like, oh shit, here's my OBS studio and the Go Live thing and your audio.
Hang on, you say I've got really pretty pictures. Did someone break into my OBS and replace the shit I usually put up there with actually beautiful pictures?
Well, actually, speaking of that, first, of course, I'm actually sharing the wrong screen with you now.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is ridiculous.
All right. What is going on with this? All right.
I don't know, but this is probably the highlight of the show. So you can basically switch off now.
Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, bye.
We had the massive technical problems. And so now we're just going to go with this. For some reason, when it's coming up on the screen to share my tweet or my display is just showing nothing. So let's hope. Yeah, I think that's working. Okay, operating with.
When I watch internet porn, I often come up on my screen.
That's actually a nice follow-on from the conversation we were having off-air, which was very naughty and X-rated.
It was very naughty. It involved me drowning villages with my own man muck.
Yes. Quite. So now you've given it away. Our secret backstage conversations are now public knowledge. Thanks, Ken.
Like a white rope coming out of me. Ridiculous. Anyway.
Right. Well, with that lovely mental picture, let's go on to some. Want to give a shout out. Oh, damn it! I can't remember who did this on Twitter. Sorry, I've got the pics, but I don't have your name. You know what? I might have it in my bookmarks, but I'm going to save that for later. So the person will get their credit. These were given to Kevin. These are we're rolling out some of the new movie poster mock-ups That's inspired by Kevin's afternoon, where he just found his zen by pasting our faces into various famous paintings.
And all work and no play makes Kristi a very dull boy, indeed.
Yes. But I have to say, I love, as much as I love the whole thing as it is, your face in this is most perfect. That's the really great part of it.
And that's to scale as well. I've got a head like a pea.
Mine's to scale as well. Mine is absolutely massive. All right.
Well, no, I think you just got a normal-sized head on a small person's body.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a Charlie Kirk. No, anyway. And here we go. Kevin Logan. Should say Kurt, actually. But this is Forrest Gump. So there we go.
Yeah.
That's also
I am Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Well, I did get shot in the ass, but not quite in the same way.
My glasses do not fit that hair at all. But hey, we're rolling with it. So,
and I lost some fucking weight, so you know.
And then there was this one as well, which was great.
Nice.
So before we came on air, we decided we were going to start you guys off with some light stuff rather than the dark stuff we're going to turn to now. And I do have to say, I don't know much of this story because I only have so much space in my brain and time in my hours of my life. And also, I don't get bombarded with British media. So, Kevin, you were the one who kind of brought this up, wanted to have this.
Yeah, this is amazing. This happened, or this particular interview was broadcast last night, and it's simultaneously proves something that I think I've known for a while, that Prince Andrew, the man on the right there of your screen, who is the Duke of York, who isn't so fucking grand, although he is old, so he's got that, I suppose, is basically a child rapist. Yeah, that's where this story's going. He is, or was, a long-term friend and close friend, it would appear, with one Jeffrey Epstein, about whom you will hear during the course of the snippets of this interview, because we're not going to watch the whole thing. It was fucking 50 minutes long.
Yeah,
and,
way too long for us, yeah.
Way too long. And, of course, copyright and all that, you've got to, you've got to be judicious in your usage of clips from long pieces and stuff. So, but I've got timestamps and stuff, so we're going to take you through some bits of this where he simultaneously lies through his fucking teeth, invents a fake illness for himself as an alibi, says he doesn't regret his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted pedophile and sex trafficker of children and adults. Absolutely foul. We'll get into the preciseness of it in a second. So we just thought we'd set that up for you there. Like I say, this is Prince Andrew, who's the current Queen of England's youngest son, I believe, youngest child. And this relates to the story of what's her name? I've totally forgotten her name. Victoria something or other. Apologies to Victoria, who alleges that as a 17-year-old, so as a child, she was groomed by Jeffrey Epstein and his partner, or his friend, whatever, who was a friend of Prince Andrew's as well, and paid £10,000 to have sex with Prince Andrew, who was then in his fucking 50s or some shit, in the early 2000s. And there is an image of them together, even though he claims to have never, or claims he can't remember having ever met her. And there are some ridiculous inconsistencies with his story we'll get into as we go. But basically, he's not just... It wasn't just that he happened to be a friend or acquaintance of a known pedophile and serial sex trafficker and rapist, but it seems he's indulged in that himself, albeit that that's legally not proven at this point. He can happily sue me. I'd love to see him in court.
Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing so I can make sure I'm sharing with sound this time. Because I know we try to do that only when necessary. And by the way, people in the chat too, if you want to give us some feedback on Kevin's sound and my sound, we're going to do an initial sound test here. If it sounds okay to me.
Apparently Edward is the youngest.
Okay.
Apologies. But anyway, he's one of the queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hardly a royal watcher. You're not really a...
Yeah, he's 10th in line for the throne, which basically means he's got about as much chance as I have of being king. None. Mm-hmm. So who cares? But anyway, my taxes have to pay for him to travel to rape children. Grim.
Right. So we're
And like I say, I mean, it's probably a bit late for a content warning, but it doesn't get better.
yeah.
So if that's a problem for you, yeah, duck the fuck out at this point.
Stop now. Yeah, total content warning. Right, we're gonna skip to about 4.5 minutes in.
Yeah, like I say, we can't show you the whole thing, and that was basically the first 4 minutes was them outlining. Oh, you were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, okay, cool. And well, she didn't say cool. That would be a ridiculously inappropriate response. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they lay out the, oh, you've been to his house and stuff. You know, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so now with your first timestamp.
He was the, as it were, +1 to some extent.
Can you hear that all right, Kevin?
I can. Can we skip back slightly?
Yeah.
About 20 seconds, because
Yeah.
he's explaining that they talk about him going to Jeffrey Epstein's house, his various properties in Palm Beach and New York and his private Caribbean island and stuff. Even though he claims to not be that close a friend with him. Yeah, of course. Very Donald Trump. But then Emily Maitlis, who's the journalist on the left, who does a pretty sterling job in difficult circumstances, because it's sort of a thankless task in many respects, because you're not going to get any answers, and regardless of how you play it, you're going to get criticised. But whatever. She then asks him, well, okay, but you invited him to Buckingham Palace, didn't you?
Okay, so we're at 4:06 here to give a little bit more background. Okay.
To go to Wall Street and other places to learn whilst I was there were absolutely vital.
He was your guest as well. In 2000, Epstein was a guest at Windsor Castle and at Sandringham. He was brought right into the heart of the royal family at your invitation.
But certainly at my invitation, not at the royal family's invitation. But remember that it was his girlfriend that was the key element in this. He was the, as it were, +1 to some extent in that aspect.
Am I right in thinking you threw a birthday party?
Did we just pause that for a second? Because at this point, I think it's worth introducing you to this other person, the woman, who he claims is like, well, I only knew Jeffrey Epstein through this woman. And I think it's only fair that we introduce you to, I don't know how to pronounce her first name, Geislin or something, Maxwell, who is one of the children of Maxwell, who used to be the old newspaper mogul, and Robert Maxwell, who stole lots of money from people's pension funds, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, it would appear, in terms of criminality. Hello?
Yep. Yeah, I'm here. Can you...
Oh, sorry, did you say something?
No, I think I just turned on what I thought was the picture you were referring to.
No, well, technically, yes. She's the woman on the right in the background.
Here.
That's her, yes. But I'm going to read to you a bit. Now, it is from Wikipedia, but it is sourced, so, I mean, take that as you will. But these are all court cases that this woman has been involved with. Like I say, she was a partner of Jeffrey Epstein, a sexual partner, and then a long-term friend afterwards. Where are we? So Virginia Roberts. Virginia Roberts is the young girl you see in the picture in the middle between the two of them, if that makes sense, who Prince Andrew has his hand around her hip, there, around her waist. So, yeah, I mean, very inappropriate considering she's a child and he's a fucking middle-aged man, but whatever. Anyway, so this woman, Maxwell, she, Virginia Roberts was suing her in civil court for the fact that Maxwell basically acted as an enabler, a facilitator, essentially a kind of would go out there and find young girls on behalf of Epstein and bring them into his clutches. She was a fixer or whatever you want to call it. And so I'll just read from the thing. He says, so her name's Virginia Roberts Giffray is the official surname. So Giffray sued Maxwell in federal court in the Southern District of New York in 2015. She asserted that Maxwell and Epstein had trafficked her and other underage girls, often at sex parties hosted by Epstein at their homes in New York, New Mexico, Palm Beach, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Maxwell called her a liar, Gouffre sued Maxwell for defamation, while details of the settlement, and this becomes a repeated pattern, while details of the settlement have not been made public, in May 2017 the case was settled in Gouffre's favour, with Maxwell paying Gouffre, quote-unquote, millions.
Really?
Sarah Ransom versus Epstein and Maxwell. In 2017, Sarah Ransom filed a suit against Epstein and Maxwell, alleging that Maxwell hired her to give massages to Epstein and later threatened to physically harm her or destroy her career prospects if she did not comply with their sexual demands in their mansion and private island, Little St. James. The suit was settled in 2018 with undisclosed terms. In the 16th of April 2019, a new accuser, Maria Farmer, went public and filed a sworn affidavit in federal court in New York alleging that she and her 15-year-old sister had been sexually assaulted by Epstein and Maxwell in separate locations in 1996. According to the affidavit, so well before Prince Andrew comes on the scene. So this is already a well-established pattern of behaviour with these evil bastards, which makes you wonder, why is he friends with them? Anyway. According to the affidavit, Farmer met Maxwell and Epstein at the New York Art Gallery reception in 1995. The affidavit says that in the summer of the following year, they hired her to work on an art project in a billionaire businessman Leslie Waxner's Ohio mansion, where she was then sexually assaulted. Farmer reported the incident to the New York Police Department and FBI. Farmer's affidavit also stated that during the same summer, Epstein flew her and her 15-year-old sister to the New Jersey property where he and Maxwell molested her on a massage table. And it goes on and on. There's Jennifer Arias versus the estate of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine, or however the fuck you pronounce it, Maxwell. Priscilla Doe versus the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, and various others, where they always settle out of court as long as they basically pay them hush money to not go public with the details. So that's the supposedly innocent person to whom Jeffrey Epstein is the +1 that Andrew refers to. Another pedophile, another child sex trafficker.
Okay. Did you want me to continue playing here? Is there another timestamp?
You can basically go on because the next timestamp is 5 minutes till 9 minutes.
Okay.
So we might. Do you want to speed that bit up for copyright purposes? I don't know.
You mean we play at 2 times speed?
Or 125 or something, just to get through it slightly quicker.
Okay.
Because he lies about not knowing that these people were what they were.
Okay.
For Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell at Sandringham.
No, it was a shooting weekend.
A shooting weekend.
Just a straightforward shooting weekend.
But during these times that he was a guest at Windsor Castle at Sandringham, the shooting weekend,
Yep.
we now know that he was and had been procuring young girls for sex trafficking.
We now know that. At the time, there was no indication to me or anybody else that that was what he was doing. And certainly, when I saw him either in the United States, when I saw him in the United States, or when I was staying in his houses in the United States, there was no indication, absolutely no indication.
Just want to point out that's entirely false, as is later shown during this actual interview, because Jeffrey Epstein was first convicted for child sexual abuse and sex trafficking in Florida in 2008. Mm-hmm. And Prince Andrew here went to stay with Jeffrey Epstein in his mansion in New York City in 2010 for 4 days.
Yeah. He got that's the deal that brought about the whole lawsuit that Miami Herald helped do the investigation for, that led to sort of a resparking of interest, right?
Indeed so, yes. And by the way, this is... I should have pointed out some of the PR implications of this before we even started, really. But this was the worst thing that Prince Andrew could have done, because this story had sparked a certain amount of interest, and it sort of bubbled under the surface a little bit. It got a bit of media traction, but nothing major, especially because we've got Brexit and the general election going on, so the media have been focusing on that sort of thing. Not that you can't do two things at once, media, just fucking saying, anyway. But it was basically, a pretty still story. And he's done this, and it's now the fucking lead in everything. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's the top of every news hour. It's the story that anyone's talking. No one gives a fuck about the general election. Now we're thinking, oh my God, this guy's definitely a fucking nonce. There's no way he isn't. This was ridiculous. And one Buckingham Palace source, so presumably one of the Queen's advisors, was quoted as having said, hang on, let me get the quote up here. When we first heard of the interview going out, we thought it was going to be a car crash. We later found, after watching the episode, that it was a jet flying into an oil rig, sparking a tsunami which set off a nuclear bomb.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That, I mean, firstly, kudos for an amazingly poetic quote. That's amazing. Well done on that description. But just goes to show you how fucked up this as a PR move was for him. It's the exact opposite, to the point where his own PR advisor, having advised him not to do this, resigned overnight.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because, I mean, what's the point in being his PR advisor if you tell him to do the obviously right thing by, don't do this fucking interview, you stupid bastard. You're incriminating yourself enormously. Stop it. And he does it anyway.
Wow. Yeah, I was more trying to keep up with all of the evidence coming out against Trump on Saturday.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I reckon we cover each side of we've both got a natural side of the Atlantic.
Yeah. I stay in my lane. You stay in your lane. I know our lanes cross, but, on the deep dive
lanes
things.
Cross, and I like to see what's happening on the other side, but when there's so much nonsense going on here, I find it difficult to focus on anything else.
Of course.
Even though everything else is also very interesting. But I'll catch up at some point if it ever calms the fuck down.
Yeah, but anyway. I can catch up before the end of the happy hour. I already went over it in my show earlier today. But anyway, getting back to this.
Well, anyway, if we just go back to normal speed and click forward to 11:30.
Alrighty-dighty.
Where it talks about the 2010 meeting. So, like I say, after he was already convicted of being a child rapist.
11:30. All right, 11:23 seems pretty close. Great luck. All right, here we go.
You were invited as the guest of honour.
Oh, in 2010? There certainly wasn't a party to celebrate his release in December, because it was a small dinner party. There were only 8 or 10 of us, I think, at the dinner. If there was a party, then I'd know nothing about that.
You were invited to that dinner as a guest of honour?
Well, I was there, so there was a dinner. I don't think it was quite as you might put it, but yeah, okay. I was there at a dinner. Yeah.
I'm just trying to work this out.
But you see how dismissive he is. Just like,
break up the relationship.
Sorry.
He's just like, I was at a dinner with a convicted pedophile upon his release from prison for being a convicted pedophile. Mm-hmm. Like, why is that a big deal, yo? Chill. Like, what the fuck? Like, everything about this, the optics is dreadful. His performance, he laughs weirdly at points as well, where he really shouldn't. Now, I get he might be quite fucking nervous, but...
Yeah, but still.
That's probably why he's got PR people who are like, don't do the interview. Yes. You're not good at this, you know?
Body language is also really weird. Like, he's shifting a lot, and he's sort of crossing his arms, but he's laying back like he's trying to be relaxed, but he doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah. And he shouldn't be fucking comfortable. He should be in a jail cell. It's very simple as far as I'm concerned. There's no way he knew this guy for that long, stayed in all of his mansions, and knew nothing about this.
Presumably they do vetting of people around him because they wouldn't want him to be in these kinds of issues. But I don't know. But still, he was a convicted pedophile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And I just
it would have been hard to find out.
Prince Andrew's a dodgy fuck anyway. Mm-hmm. His business dealings with certain the nation of Kazakhstan keeps reappearing. He's got some very, very dodgy connections with property goings on and stuff in Kazakhstan, to the point where he was initially, he says at the start of the thing, he was a trade envoy, like an official representative of the British government doing like trade missions and stuff, as part of his like pretending to do a job rather than just being paid to be a royal twat. Anyway, but he was asked to step down from that position because he was caught being sort of bribed by a Kazakhstani oligarch, a multi-billionaire natural gas tycoon to win contracts on behalf of his Swiss and Greek friends when there were British companies trying to get those contracts, when he's literally being paid by the British state to be a trade envoy for Britain. Yeah, he's a corrupt motherfucker. Now, the financial dealings don't necessarily mean, oh, yeah, he rapes kids as well. But the hanging around with people who do rape kids for years and years and being chummy as fuck with them and going to dinner with them after you know they've been convicted of stuff, that probably does.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
You can't really argue guilt by association when the person, like you said, you've been friends with them for years and what they do. And
exactly. It's not guilt by association when you know they've been convicted of a thing and you still go there and, are photographed, actually. If you pull up the second photograph I sent you, it's a picture of them that was snapped as they were strolling through Central Park having a chat.
Oh.
That's Prince Andrew and the now very dead. And it's surprising how, when you become an inconvenience to the British royal family, Princess Diana, I'm looking at you, you often end up getting maybe slightly murdered. Maybe.
Yeah, I was to be honest, I was quite surprised that the verdict came back as a homicide, because I know that there is with people who are accused and convicted of pedophilia a very high suicide rate compared to the general population. But and then of course, like, the homicide thing came out and then it sort of went away because obviously Trump sucks the air out of everything. But yeah. But
the coroner said there were signs of potential homicide?
Okay. I saw Twitter,
Yeah. Well, no, therefore it's like it's on...
or was it an undetermined cause of death?
Well, it's still officially, I think, recognised as suicide, but the coroner said that there were signs of potential homicide, something to do with a broken bone in his neck that, if it was suicide, presumably wouldn't have broken.
The hyoid bone.
Maybe. Something.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyway, the point is, I don't believe for a second he killed himself. Now, I could be wrong, but the royal family have, I think, previous on things that when people become an inconvenience to them, they tend to go away.
Well, he was an inconvenience to quite a lot of people, to be fair.
Indeed, a lot of people. Well, yeah, I mean, a person that links Epstein and Prince Andrew as friends?
Who's that?
A certain Mr. Donald Trump. Yeah, he was very good friends with both of them.
Right. For many years. I didn't realize he was friends with Prince Andrew. Otherwise, I would have guessed Trump because I knew about him and Epstein.
Oh, well, actually, yeah. If you go on Prince Andrew's Wikipedia page, there's a photograph of him shaking hands with Donald Trump outside of Trump Tower.
Great. Okay. All right. So,
but it's okay. Donald Trump's definitely not a pederast. He only wanted to fuck his own daughter. Oh no! Oh, that's really bad.
He wanted to stare at underage girls in this pageants.
Yes, he's really disgusting. Anyway.
Okay, so hit play here, or we're at 12 minutes.
Yeah, go on for a second.
Okay.
And yet you stayed at that New York mansion several days. I'm wondering how long.
But I was doing a number of other things while I was there.
But you were staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
What? What?
See what I mean?
What?
When that description of the oil tanker and the tsunami and shit, the atomic bomb, do you know what I mean? He literally just said that. It was convenient. It's not as if New York's got, literally more fucking hotels than people.
Yeah.
And it's got lots of people, so you know what I mean? Like, it was convenient. Who the fuck are you kidding?
If you wanted to say what is the worst answer you could give in this sort of situation?
Yeah. That's atrocious. Like, if I was staying in a place and there was a choice between the house of a convicted pedophile or a fucking park bench, you know what? I can survive a night on a park bench. Yeah. I'll go home the next day. It's fine.
I'm just...
But if I happen to be in a major urban metropolis where there are lots of, hotels going of varying, costs to suit every pocket... There we go, fucking Tourism Board of New York. I've just done your job for you. And I'm already paying for it anyway, you fucking mooch.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go and stay in a hotel rather than besmirch the nation as a sort of representative, albeit completely unelected and unbecoming, frankly. Go and stay in a hotel, you prick. Go and stay in the British consulate. I'm sure they can fucking put a room up for you. Jesus.
It was convenient.
It was convenient. How is it ever convenient to stay with a fucking pedo? When's that ever convenient? Unless you also want to be doing pedo stuff.
Why isn't he saying, I'm so horrified, I'm so regretful, I made such a mistake?
When I first heard this was coming out, I thought, well, I couldn't understand the buzz because, the media people who are savvy to what's going on, we're all like, this is going to be this is going to be massive, this is going to be huge. And I thought, well, if he's doing an interview about Epstein, he's going to come out and say, I was really sorry.
Yeah.
I should have never gone near the guy, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't. I mean, spoilers, but we're going to see it anyway, so who cares? He basically says, no, I don't regret the friendship I had with Jeffrey.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. Where's the exact mic? We'll get to it at the end anyway.
Yeah.
But, the very next timestamp after we're done with this, 16 minutes, he says he does not regret it.
I think that's when the PR person went, right, I'm out. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
I'm done.
I
can't even associate myself with defending this.
Yeah, exactly, because I've got to work after this. And my name's going to be Mud if I go near you again.
Yeah. He doesn't have to worry about his income being cut off. I do. Is pretty much what was going through that person's mind.
Exactly, yeah. You don't have to care. I do.
Yeah, because I have to work for a living.
Well, he might have to care because there's now an ongoing FBI investigation into all of this. Now, admittedly, very rich, very powerful white people don't go to prison unless, I suppose, Jeffrey Epstein being maybe one slight example. But then again, he pissed off lots of other white rich people. So, I mean, depends who you annoy. Anyway, there's an ongoing FBI case into this, and there seems to be a pretty significant amount of evidence that he was at least... it seems implausible under any realistic viewing of the situation that he didn't know what was going on at these places. Now, doesn't necessarily mean he engaged in it, but he was clearly okay with it, at the very least.
All right, let's hit play so we can move on.
That would be convenient, yeah.
Well, there's some more. We've got other terrible stuff to get through, so yeah, okay.
This in my mind so many times. At the end of the day, with the benefit of all the hindsight that one can have, it was definitely the wrong thing to do. But at the time, I felt it was the honourable and right thing to do, and I admit
it was the honourable and right thing to do.
To stay at a dude's house in New York, who's convicted
of a pedophile. I mean, other than, I don't know, maybe having sex with Hitler, in what other comparison could that be considered the honourable thing? Yeah.
I don't know how is it honourable to stay at some random rich dude's house in New York? Let alone the fact that the guy is a convicted pedophile.
Yeah, exactly.
So even in those situations, you're not, anyway, I don't...
Anyway, let's 16 minutes, because like
Skip
I say...
ahead.
Yeah, because I've already spoiled it for you, but yeah, this, like you say, presumably was the point at which the guy went, do you know that resignation letter I had on the table?
Yeah.
I'm definitely putting that in. That's getting sent immediately.
Tonight. I'm finishing it off. I'm just changing the date as I'm watching the rest of this program.
This fucker's getting FedExed over to this country now.
All right, here we are, 10 to 16.
There were enough security around. I mean, there are even photographs of the security people are around in the photograph. So I mean, he could have done, but I
guess what I'm asking is, do you feel that you were part of Epstein's public rehabilitation?
Oh no, funny enough, I don't. No, I mean, if he was doing, if that photograph was taken with that purpose in mind, then it doesn't equate to what actually happened.
So why wouldn't you announce this breakup when you got back? Why wouldn't you publicly explain?
Is this at 16 minutes?
Did you?
Yep, we just went through 16 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll let it play then for a second.
Okay.
You worry that he had something that could compromise you?
No.
Do you regret that trip?
Yes.
Do you regret the whole friendship with Epstein? Now,
still not. And the reason being is...
God.
Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. The only reason you would do this interview is to say, yes, I regret that. That's terrible. And it's not even as if you have to feel... Look, even if he was really loyal to Epstein and loved him, thought he was brilliant, and therefore wouldn't want to hurt his fifis, he's now fucking dead.
Uh-huh.
There's literally no reason on the earth you would possibly say, no, I don't regret that. I don't regret going to staying with a known pedophile.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you see why we had to do this?
Yeah.
Do you see why I had to bring this to you? This is ridiculous.
No, more people need to see this because so many people are caught up in their own stuff right now. But yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, why would you say that?
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you're slightly lost for words, and that's the right reaction because this is.
How do you side with that guy? How do you side with him knowing what he did?
Yeah. I mean, just yes. Anyway, rather than listen to this bumblefuck talk shit for a minute, the allegations against him, 1830.
Okay, 1830.
Yeah.
All right, 1823. We'll start there.
July of this year, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and abusing dozens of underage girls. One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against you. She says she met you in 2001. She says she dined with you, danced with you at Tramp nightclub in London. She went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend. Your response?
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
If we just pause there for a second.
Meeting her.
No.
Yep.
Can you get up the first picture I sent you?
This one?
No, that one there. That's the woman he claims never to have met. The one he's literally got his hand around the waist of.
He's no memory of.
Yeah, when I say woman, I mean 17-year-old girl.
Yep. Does she show him this picture in that interview?
She doesn't show him it, but she says, "Have you seen the picture?" And he says, "Yes."
And that didn't jog his memory at all.
Apparently not. But the inconsistency, which you'll find in just a second, is he says, "I have no recollection of seeing this woman," but when asked, "Did you do this?" he says categorically no.
Well, then, exactly. How do you know you didn't do it if you can't remember?
You can't remember a picture that we can literally see and that every fucker in the world has seen. It's been in the newspapers and everything, right? So you did meet her. You can't recollect that. But even though you can't recollect having met her, you can definitely say 100% you didn't have sex with her. Sorry, you didn't rape her.
Mm.
I think he might be full of shit.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking I've had experience recently where someone tagged me into a couple times, like pictures of me from the 90s at college. And I didn't have a specific recollection of that group of people or that event until I saw the picture. And then once I saw the picture and the context and the people, it all came right back to me. Oh yeah, that was when I was in DC for this training with this group and these people and we did this. Right? Yeah. I don't know how you look at a picture of yourself with someone and not remember it. I mean, unless you're off your face. And he doesn't really look off his face there.
He doesn't, but he's royal. So, I mean, even if they're absolutely coked off their tits, that barely cracks a smile, I think.
Yeah.
They've got that kind of resting royal face.
And if I have a picture, of myself with somebody I don't know, and this isn't like some official thing where he's meeting thousands of people, right? This is a specific hallway at a house. Yeah,
this is Jeline, or whatever her name is, the woman in the background. That's her residence in London.
Oh, see, it's not even New York.
And it's literally they're just in her house at like some sort of small dinner party thing.
Yeah, lying.
Yeah, and not just that, but like I say, even if it wasn't, regardless of where it is and all the rest of it, if you can't remember ever having met her, even though we can prove by that picture you did meet her, how can you say 100% you'd never had sex with her?
Yeah.
And he says, literally, I can assure you it did not happen. How?
I don't no recollection of meeting
memory. You've got an interesting selective memory problem there.
Yep. Yep, you would say, I didn't meet her, it never happened, and then if she's got proof, well then you're screwed. So all right. You want to hit play? Continue on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
She says she met you in 2001. She dined with you. She danced with you. You bought her drinks. You were in Tramp nightclub in London. And she went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Didn't happen.
Do you remember her?
No.
I don't remember her, but I remember definitely not having sex with her. I mean, this isn't a law court, I know, but I don't think that's going to stand up as a defence of anything other than, well, your own stupidity, I suppose. Yeah, just what a turd. Not just that, but it then goes on to make up. Now, I can't conclusively prove that this is a lie, but this seems like such an obvious, like, almost childlike lie that you would just make up on the hoof. Like, oh, my dad's an astronaut or some nonsense, right? We skip forward to 2130.
Okay.
They're still talking about the same thing, but he makes up the most bizarre reason why it definitely couldn't have been the way this woman described it as being.
Okay, starting at 2125.
At night, she described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have...
See, don't laugh.
There's
possibly...
There's a slight problem with...
So can we listen on to what he says here, to what the problem is? Okay.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Okay.
The sweating, because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was... Oh, actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat. And it's only because I have done a number of things in the recent past that I'm starting to be able to do that again. So I'm afraid to say that there's a medical condition that says that I didn't do it, so therefore...
Is it...
What?
Yeah. He couldn't have done it because he was temporarily unable to sweat.
Okay, I'm not a doctor. I mean, I am a PhD, but I'm not a medical doctor. I'm an MD. I've never heard of somebody not being able to sweat for a period of time because of PTSD. Is that what he's getting at?
I think so. And he did, to be fair, he did actually serve. He was a pilot.
Yeah.
As well, because he was a member of the Royal Navy. For those who don't know, technically he still is. Technically, he's still the voice. He's now the. I mean, it's a symbolic thing, but he's one of the vice admirals of the Royal Navy. Quite a high-ranking position, albeit that he doesn't do day-to-day stuff. Whatever. Anyway, so he did actually serve, and so he may have had some sort of PTSD, albeit he wasn't really on the front line as such. But whatever. But yeah, the idea that you temporarily lose the ability to sweat is fucking nonsense.
Yes.
Isn't it? Surely. Like I say, if there's a doctor out there that can tell me of some medical condition where that's possible, then okay, I'll hold my hands up and say, maybe.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, again, I would have to look into it. He didn't give the name of the condition, so it's a little bit, can't fact check it on air.
That's what I mean, yeah. It's like, that's like what a child would do. Like I say, oh, my dad plays for England and is an astronaut and I can swim 100 metres in 6 seconds. Like, it just, what a 7-year-old comes up with. Also, yeah, I couldn't have done it. I didn't used to be able to sweat.
Have you ever been to a nightclub in London? They're hot and dark and humid because people are breathing in a confined space. Yeah. And you can get condensation and wet, on you. That and from
well, not just that, but if he did have this problem, he would have probably fainted.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because his body wouldn't, in that hot, like you say, hot confined dance floor, situation, you wouldn't be able. If you weren't able to sweat, your body would overheat and you would faint.
Precisely.
So even if there was such a medical problem, he wouldn't be able to go into like that kind of condition without it. And during this period, why wasn't he medically discharged from the Navy?
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe not sweating isn't serious enough to...
I think it probably is. If you're in the bowels of a ship doing sailor stuff, you've got to be able to sweat. Otherwise, like I say, you're going to overheat and probably die.
He's
and maybe
never going to go...
kill all of your other... Yeah, I know he's not actually going to do that, but the point is, in order to be allowed onto a Navy ship, you have to be, like, actually fit to be on a fucking ship.
Well,
like,
if it was
come
treatable.
on.
People with diabetes are on ships as well, as long as they have, their insulin. But
Yeah, but that's a
still
proper thing. That's not a made-up pretend disease.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is the point. This is a highly suspect story we're hearing here about I can't sweat.
I literally put it down as the worst lie ever on my notes. So, I mean, that tells you what I think of it.
Has there been any coverage, any comment in the media about this mysterious condition that you've watched?
Yeah, mostly people taking the piss.
Okay.
But mostly people saying saying stuff like, I couldn't have done it because I was temporarily unable to kill people, Your Honour. So
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it. Literally, I had this disease. I had a disease where I was allergic to knives, so I couldn't have stabbed him.
All right,
It's nonsense. Like, how desperately convenient that you couldn't sweat. Fuck off. We're not 10. What?
Well, there is a condition, but it looks like it's a thyroid thing. No, sorry. The inability to sweat is defined as an absence of sweating, can affect large or small areas of the body, can be caused by one or more of a dozen factors. No one knows exactly how many people are affected. Okay. So there is a condition. I don't know if it has to do with stress, though, but there is looks like there is a condition about not being able to sweat, which doesn't surprise me. It's just tying
the
it
body
into
does
this.
Weird stuff. People are born with like fucking four arms.
All kinds of variations, yeah.
Yeah. That's natural selection at play. That's what happens. Lots of variations to work with. So yeah, it's perfectly plausible, but or perfectly possible, just not enormously plausible because it's too convenient. I've never heard him mention this before. He doesn't give any fucking details.
No, he doesn't even name it.
No.
Like, I have this condition called.
Yeah.
And fair enough if he doesn't want to go into his treatments, but he's like, I take a drug called this.
Well, no, exactly. I'm not expecting him to give us a full medical breakdown, but just be like, oh yeah, I've got Johnson's disease or whatever it's called.
Yeah. It just goes to his credibility.
I was affected by it, but I've had therapy since, and it's fine.
Yeah, it just goes to his credibility.
Done.
If you have
Everyone
something...
goes, okay, that's not absurd. Whereas when you go, yeah, I couldn't sweat, so bad news. Then you look like a fucking clown. Anyway, yes, a moment of... I called this a self-mic drop, where he dropped the mic on himself.
Yeah.
Basically, at 22:30.
All right, 22:30, we're 10 seconds away, so...
Possible that you met Virginia Roberts, dined with her, danced with her in Tramp, had sex with her on another date?
No.
Do you remember meeting her at all?
No.
Do you know you didn't meet her, or do you just not remember meeting her?
No, I don't know if I've met her. But no, I have no recollection of meeting her.
Because she was very specific. She described the dance that you had together in Tramp. She described meeting you. She was a 17-year-old girl meeting a senior member of the royal family.
Never happened.
She provided a photo of the two of you together.
Yes.
Your arm was around her waist.
Yes.
You've seen the photo.
I've seen the photograph.
How do you explain that?
I can't.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Can't. Literally, he just dropped the mic on himself. I can't defend myself.
And he knew the photo question was coming up, and he's still stuck with this crappy I don't remember, but it never happened. But there's a picture of us together, but I don't remember ever meeting her. And even though I don't remember meeting her, I have no recollection, I'm definitely sure I didn't have sex with her.
Yeah, it's
oh my god,
ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, one more clip just so we can get through this. He says no to a question where he cannot know the answer. Look, if he'd said I don't know, that would have been fine because he cannot know. He cannot know the answer to the question. At 32:30.
Okay. Okay, 32:19.
When the allegations came out originally, I went, well, that's a bit strange. I don't remember this. And then I've been through it and through it and through it over and over and over again. And no, nothing. Never happened.
Epstein's housekeeper, also in a Florida court legal deposition, said that you visited the Palm Beach residence around 4 times a year. You got a daily massage.
4 times a year?
That was what he said in a Florida court legal deposition.
No.
I'm just wondering, when you look back now, is there a chance that those massages might have been the services of someone who was being sexually exploited or trafficked by Epstein?
No. I don't
So,
think...
Yeah.
he can't know the answer to that. Look, he could have in theory, innocently received a foot massage just from a woman that works at his place that could also have been being trafficked in some way that he was unaware of. Right, that's possible.
Yeah.
But either way, he can't know, but he still says no, which shows you he's just going to deny everything.
Yes. He's
His
not even...
word means nothing. Yeah.
By the way, Symbiosis Modesta in the chat has got a quote here that trauma is not a known cause of the condition ahidrosis. Which
would be the inability to sweat, I presume.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. That doesn't surprise me either. But yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. If you want to go watch the whole thing, it's up on YouTube. As you can see, we're playing it from the BBC's YouTube thing. So hopefully in your geographic location, go and check that out, because that's amazing. I can't believe he did the interview, or at least I can't believe he did that interview.
Yeah.
Have answers prepared.
Honestly.
And act like you're not fucking garbage. I mean, we all know you are, clearly, but pretend.
Like, he's
That's
just...
what your PR person resigned,
Yeah.
because you're not even going to pretend, which is what PR is. It's like lying by omission, basically.
He's just got no, like, emotional connection to what is being talked about at all. It's like he's discussing a hypothetical.
And I feel genuinely quite sad for his 2 daughters. What must they think?
Yeah.
What must they go? How was he parented them? God only knows. I mean, it's just awful from start to finish. And like I say, I was already strongly under the impression that this guy was a pedophile. I'm now basically convinced that he is. I don't know how he couldn't be, given all of this. Even now, he still won't say that he regrets
Being friends.
friendship.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse for that. There's no way around it. And he was asked about it today, apparently, and he's sticking by it. So, I mean, fuck him. He's garbage.
Yeah. Agreed. Put it in the bin.
Yes. So that was not appropriate fare for a show called Happy Hour.
No, sorry, people, but occasionally we have to do the important stories, and it's not always happy hour. But going back, we can look at this instead.
That is funny.
That's much better.
Yeah.
We'll just look at Kev's little face here. Look at that little face on him in that picture. What a great choice. What a great editorial choice. Well, like, can we blow that up? Make that bigger? No, it just makes the other things bigger. Stupid Google Chrome. Anyway, Kev's face. Just beauteous. And should we transition from Kev's face here? Is there a photo of you profile available? Could use it for stream artwork. I'll talk to me on Twitter. And then also just as a little flashback, because we all know Kevin can't get enough of the white wrapping.
Call my dick climate change because it's permanently bleaching the world's coral reefs. Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
No, but it does remind us that white people shouldn't rap.
Yes, I mean, in many respects, I was channeling the real true message of the MAGA challenge, which was stop, white people. Please stop.
Just stop. Stop. All right, so how about this? I saw you had retweeted this, so I put up.
Yes. Katie Hopkins, old fucking ketamine-loving, racist garbage bag kicked out of South Africa. Katie Hopkins. Yes, trash. Utter trash. And, she was sued, quite rightly, by, I've forgotten his name entirely. Apologies.
Jack Monroe.
Jack Monroe, there we go, who's a reasonably little known but a decent human being who's like an anti-poverty campaigner here in Britain, who, because he's a nice person, was clearly going to be an enemy of Katie Hopkins, no fault of his own. And she accused him of defacing or destroying a war memorial.
Right.
For which there was no evidence. She seemingly either made it up or someone made it up and she just passed the message on, so to speak. And he sued her for defamation and left her with a very significant bill, which if she just settled initially when she was obviously still guilty...
This is actually the best part of the story, in my opinion.
Yeah, she could have settled out of court for a pittance, really, like something that was...
£5,000 to a migrant assistant group. That's what he asked for.
Yeah.
I looked it up in the article. Should we read
wow.
it?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah.
And she ended up with a £500,000 bill, which forced her to sell her house.
Yeah, her stubbornness.
Now, don't worry. Her and her family are not homeless. They're going to be fine. But even so, it's still funny because a hilarious thing happened to a dreadful human being. Dreadful.
Yep. Oh, that was the 5-bedroom mansion she was forced to sell.
Yep.
And where is it?
And like you say, it was just hubris on her part. Mm-hmm. If she'd just gone, okay, well, I'm clearly guilty, I'll just give him the $5,000, never mind.
Here it goes.
She'd still have a nice house.
Yep. Asked what her worst business decision had been, she said, arguably not settling the legal case brought against me. I could have settled by giving £5,000 to a migrant charity, but chose not to, and the ensuing court action and legal bills forced me to apply for an individual voluntary arrangement, which means bankruptcy, right?
I don't know if it's bankruptcy or whether it allows you to pay... the debt in installments, so it gives them a period to actually pay the thing, which basically gave her enough time to sell the house to get the money together to pay the thing. But I don't think it's necessarily bankruptcy. I don't think.
Okay.
But maybe it. You'd have to ask a legal,
fair enough,
financial expert, which I am not.
I just want to say
many things. I am not one of those.
If her house was covered in this color carpeting, no wonder she had to sell it for less than $1 million. Because the cost of pulling out all that disgusting of just eyesore carpeting is not on. So,
but that's like a visual representation of the ugliness inside of her.
Oh yeah, fair enough. So, you got held to account.
You.
Oh, here it is. Xander Levine was the person who did the pics.
Well, thank you, Xander.
Thank you very much. What is this? Trump's European advisor told the impeachment investigators that she listened in on the 25th call between Trump and Zelensky and said it was unusual and inappropriate, and shed some light on possible other motivations for freezing military aid. Oh. There's still so much stuff going on.
Well, I can't wait for Sondland to do his thing. That's going to be fun.
See, I know everyone is dazzled and starry-eyed about Sondland, but I've got a dark horse in terms of explosive, not your butt, and the ass gravy. We're talking about explosive testimony, which is the Tuesday testimony of Colonel Vindman.
Yes, that could be quite good too.
He is the first person that we will hear from that was on the call, to my understanding. And he was so troubled by it that he reported it up at the chain of command at the time, and later on, he was the person who tried to add in what he saw in the call. They had removed references to Biden and CrowdStrike and all this other stuff. And he went to do an official request to revise the transcript so that it would be more complete. And the person he went to said, we can't access it. And that's how he then found out that it was put on a super secret server. All of that's coming out Tuesday. Now, Sondland, in my opinion, he might even take the Fifth Amendment. He might plead because he's already changed his story once before. Yeah,
that was slightly ridiculous. Why did he? That was so silly.
And now that other people are like, oh yeah, he was on a call. Did he not mention the call? Oh, there are like 5 of us. We all heard it. And he's going to have to be explained why he didn't mention that call in his previous depositions. Yeah. And the question, it might be Adam Schiff.
But every fucker in that restaurant seems to have heard. Yes. The fucking busboy.
Well, and of course the Russians heard it. The Russians heard it because they were probably...
Yeah, because it was close enough. It was fucking loud. They heard it across the border.
The Russian waiter who was spying on him heard it. But yeah, sorry, you threw me off and I was going to say. Oh yeah, it might be Adam Schiff who's just going to say, well, were you lying then? Or are you lying now? Like, you just going to lie for the president all day long? You're going to lie and cover your butt? Or why should we believe you?
Yeah. And not just that, but I think you might be right to an extent with Vindman, because it's going to be very, very, very difficult for the Republicans to openly smear the Purple Heart guy.
Yeah.
Just, they're going to have to go, thank you for your service, but are you maybe slightly, could you be misremembering slightly? Honest, we love you though, honest. So that's the best they're going to, they can't go, well, you're politically biased, fuck you. Because he's a fucking Purple Heart recipient.
Yeah, they might try to go after his Ukrainian heritage. There was some discussion, about how he was talking to two people from Ukraine. About
no.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
He's literally the Ukraine fucking guy on the National Security Council.
Yeah.
Who else are you going to be fucking talking to? It'd be weird if he didn't talk to Ukrainians. Literally, his point of him being there is to talk to Ukrainians.
It's to be an expert on, be an expert, which means talking to Ukrainians to find out what the current political situation is.
Which means more than reading fucking conspiracies about CrowdStrike on the internet, Donald, you prick.
Yep. So that is the testimony. Like I said, Sondland's got to look to cover his legal butt here, and I don't know.
Well, he has, but surely it's going to twig with one of these silly bastards eventually that Trump is not coming to your aid. Time after time, all of his people have gone to fucking jail, and he's not lifted a finger to help them. He's gone, I didn't even know the guy. Fuck him, right? One of them's going to go, actually, I probably need to save myself at this point. Maybe I'll do the honourable thing and throw Trump under the fucking bus. Well, surely one of them's going to go, I'm looking out for number one on this. Fuck Trump. Like,
hopefully.
And especially the guy that, he gave $1 million because he wanted the position as the ambassador to something.
It's the worst money he's ever spent.
Yeah, ridiculous. I mean, you might as well have burnt it. Yeah. Anyway, before all of that happened, he came out when he was campaigning for, was it Mitt Romney or someone, that Donald Trump was unfit to be president. So clearly, in his heart of hearts, he knows Trump's garbage. He just gave him $1 million to bribe Trump into giving him a position.
Yeah,
because he wanted to feel big and important. He wanted to be ambassador, man, and get a limo to fucking work,
And also maybe profit from it by establishing some helpful business ties in Eastern Europe.
That probably factored into it. I mean, in that respect, financially, it may have paid off for him, because who knows how many millions he made. Maybe he made his money back tenfold already. Who knows? Well,
actually, he was complaining because all of his being caught up. He's in the hotel business. I think he has properties. And where he is locally is all this national cover of him. We never mention, the national news doesn't care about his local hotel. But at his home state, oh my God, everyone knows that this is the guy who owns that one, whatever it is, Holiday Inn. I don't think it's a Holiday Inn, whatever he owns. And apparently his business is really suffering because of all the negative publicity.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, what he should do is he should get Trump to move the G8 from Doral to his little fucking...
Oh, I have something on that.
His little fucking travel tavern in fucking Missouri or wherever it is.
Actually, I've got a story on that.
You got a story on everything, Kristi.
I do. It was about the Secret Service. Oh, I've got some really nice things here. Was this it? Yes, Secret Service records contradict President Trump's dubious claim that members of the Secret Service wanted the 2020 G7 to be hosted at the Doral restaurant.
No, why would they give a fuck?
Yeah, the Secret Service.
And.
Oh, I can tell you why the Secret Service would give a fuck. Because they have to make it safe.
Well, no, they have to make it so. Okay, fine, yes. But the point being that they wouldn't say specifically, we want it at this event. It's basically, if you can give them an easier task by holding it at one of these sorts of locations, that's fine. But ultimately, if you ask them to do it on a fucking, I don't know, on the green of one of the putting courses or something, they would have to just do it. That's what they're there for, right? So the point being, it shouldn't be dictated. Even if they had come to him and said, we want it at Doral, he should say, well, okay, maybe, but that's obviously a conflict of interest, isn't it?
Well, if we
Because it's called Trump Doral. That's ridiculous.
yeah, it's emoluments part of it. But of course, what he tries to do is shield himself by hiding behind other people, lying about what they said. So as it says here, the Secret Service, instead of expressing support, expressed reluctance, saying the property does present some challenges, followed by a redaction that implies security concerns. The record also seems to show that Doral was added for consideration at the last minute. By departure, they had already done blah, blah, blah. So Trump leaned heavily on a claim that after an exhaustive search, members of the government preferred Doral, saying, quote, "When my people came back, they went to places all over the country, and they came back and they said, this Doral, this is where we want to hold it. Now we had military people doing it, we had Secret Service people doing it." And they're like, no, we never said that.
Yeah, that's bullshit, yeah.
So again, just Trump lies all the time.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Should we look at the little kitty? Oh,
Oh, it's not dead.
no, it's definitely not dead. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna curl up on the warm spot you left behind. Aw, isn't that sweet? There you go. Palate
But
cleanser.
like all mortal creatures, one day it will be dead.
Hey, I thought this was a very good way to resist police states. Did you see this going around on Twitter?
Yeah, taking down drones and shit with
Yes. Should we
with
see
lasers.
Yep, that's in the thread. We can check it out if you want.
But I thought for a second it might be the gay Transformers doing their thing, but apparently not.
No, but it does look like, yeah, I mean, that is an awesome light show as long as you take away the tanks and the violence and everything else. But seriously, I mean, the use of lasers to just sort of blind people and disorient them so they can't attack you seems awesome to me. And there's some risk that you can burn somebody's eye, but it's pretty minimal compared to,
Well,
like,
the police are shooting them dead.
with rubber
Like,
bullets
yeah.
or real bullets.
Well, yeah. Is that Hong Kong?
This is Chilean protesters. So you can see this guy keeps getting nabbed with lights, and so he just...
Oh yeah. Well, in Chile, yeah, they've killed dozens of protesters. So yeah, if a cop gets blinded, you know what, son, you had it coming.
Well, and also, I mean, I think you'd have to, like... It would be very rare to actually blind someone with a laser just in a flash like that.
I look, the slunk of the shoulders as he walks. Well, fuck.
Yeah,
this,
yeah, I can't see. No, that's exactly it. He just gives up. He's like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to shoot, and then
I'm a badass. The laser in my eye.
Yep.
Oh, fuck this.
Yeah, they all ran off.
That's what Chileans sound like. I don't know if
Yeah,
you know
there you go. That was your impression. Yeah, this was. I couldn't even believe this when they said they couldn't bring down a police drone with lasers. Yeah,
They fucking can.
yeah, they can. And there's another shot down. We'll see kind of why this is so effective. I mean, we kind of saw why it was effective watching the tanks from the distance. But yeah, there it goes. Down it goes. And they're all like, yeah.
Yeah, fuck that drone.
Yeah, exactly.
That drone was just 2 days away from retirement.
Yeah, fuck that drone. This is why it's so. By the way, a warning for flashing lights here. The other ones, but
well, that's a bit late. We've got our epileptic fans are already fitting.
No, I don't think so. There's not the kind of strobing lights. Even that one was just more okay. But this does strobe, so strobing lights warning now.
Anyway, you missed my Lethal Weapon joke.
But where is your lethal weapon?
The drone was just 2 days away from retirement.
Oh, okay, from the guy from the... Okay, yes. Yeah. Like, I didn't realize it was a direct callback to Lethal Weapon, but...
I think it's Lethal Weapon.
No,
but
it is. It is the first one.
Those cop genre things, yeah.
Yeah.
He's always just 2 days away from retirement and then gets killed.
Definitely, they set the bar for that sort of...
Cheese.
Cheese? Yeah, that trope.
Hammy cheese shit.
Trope.
Yes.
So, very, very stroby, as you can see. And that's probably why the drone operator was just like, I can't see anything, and then just dropped it down. So just some other pictures. And then someone just describing like how laser pointers can be used, and that it's like you can, after a long exposure, damage someone's cornea or retina, maybe, but if you close your eyes and look away, you'll probably be fine. So that I thought was just a thing worth noting.
Yeah.
And also to spread around, like, you're going to send people in Chile, like someone said, do you know where I can get those laser pointers? Like, too gross? Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Yes.
But let's see. Oh, it has been more testimony. An OMB official who signed documents holding the Ukraine funds will testified on Saturday about the fact that it was really weird to have a hold like that, and it almost went away and all that stuff.
Isn't that slightly strange that they're doing it on a Saturday?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, the Dems are working 6 days a week, well, their staffs are, to get this testimony in. Because, like I said, I don't think that is a problem that they're aiming for Christmas. I think that in a lot of ways, having a deadline like this sharpens their minds. And yeah, you can still collect information, but it doesn't always have to go in. You don't have to follow up on every single lead, but you have to follow up on the ones that actually make your case. And so I think that they're doing a pretty good job of keeping things on track. Oh, and then this also happened. So at the Friday, was it when Marie Yovanovitch testified? Was it only that long ago? Okay, so at the start of the hearing, Devin Nunes read into the record the April call between Trump and Zelensky.
Yeah.
Remember that? Okay.
I do.
Well, the thing about that is when you look at the call, they never mention, and he never reads out any text about corruption or anything like that. And when you look at the readout that the White House put at the time, basically what was the White House said was in the call was not in the call. And Nunes just exposed all that by putting out the transcript, which just completely contradicted the official White House testimony or release the statement at the time. So here, nowhere in the summary that the White House released on Friday does Trump bring up corruption, sovereignty, territorial integrity, democratic reforms, or prosperity. So either the White House's initial readout fabricated details about the call, or the rough transcript is really is incomplete. Because this is what it said. Today, Trump spoke with President-elect Zelensky to congratulate him, blah, 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 blah. Peaceful and democratic manner of the electoral process, unwavering support for their sovereignty and territorial integrity within its borders, a commitment to working together to implement reforms that strengthen democracy, increase prosperity, and root out corruption. And that was nothing about that was in the call that Nunes read.
Yeah, I mean, all I'll say is it's beginning to look like that quote-unquote transcript that was initially released.
Yeah.
This seems like an enormous fabrication of what was actually in the call. Like, I bet if we ever actually see the full actual transcript of the thing, it will be very different.
Well, that's what Vindman's going to tell us, like what parts of the ... was being said at what point. That's what he's going to testify to. That's why I'm so excited.
Testify!
Yes. Everyone's on Sondland, and I'm all about Colonel Vindman. I always like the ones that aren't the obvious ones.
You like a man in a uniform.
No, not so much. But, Democrats won the governorship.
You like a man out of a uniform.
Yeah, that's my preference. That's much better. Or whatever, close, the Democrats somehow managed to hold on to the Louisiana Democratic, or the governor's mansion, the governor's office. So, thanks, Trump.
Yeah, that's mental.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Louis. What? Yeah. I mean, there are significant gains in places that Trump needs to win big over the last 3 weeks or whatever. Yeah.
And now they're headed by Democrats, Democratic governors.
Indeed.
It'll be really interesting to see what party held the states that he won, in the governor's office in 2016 versus 2020.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and then there was also the testimony on Friday by the member of the Foreign Service who was actually did the eyewitness, like, I heard Trump on the call, I could hear his voice. That's also on the record now as well. And I think then we're kind of mostly caught up as far as I know with the news. I mean, I could check because literally, it's all going to be sports today in the trendings because it's all
sports
about
ball.
Football. Sports balls. Yes. Someone's sportsing their balls all over.
Oh, yeah,
grass.
Colin Kaepernick.
He might be coming back to the NFL, right?
I think it's unlikely because they want him basically to show up. They wanted to sign all sorts of NDAs and things anyway.
What?
And so he said that the NFL had arranged a training day where like 25 of the teams were going to turn up and watch him, like in an open training session, but he wanted the media to be there, and the NFL didn't want any part of it. So instead of going to that event, he did his own event, like 10 miles down the road.
Okay.
And looked really fucking good. Like, just the fact that he could throw, and he was throwing really, really far, like ridiculous for a guy who hasn't played for 3 years. He's clearly kept himself in great shape. And immediately, just that alone means that he should be starting ahead of probably at least 8 to 10 guys who are currently starting in the league. So, I mean, it just goes to show further, on top of what I've already said, that there is literally no reason outside of the hideous right-wing cabal that have set themselves against him why he isn't in the league. This is obviously
just to punish
racially
him.
motivated, anti-democratic bullshit.
Yep. Don't express yourself when it means holding white people responsible for the systems they benefit from.
Yeah.
Because apparently we're too fragile to pull up our big boy, big girl, big person pants and take some responsibility for the shit that was left us by the racists in the past.
Indeed.
Anyway.
So, but we'll wait and see. You never know. It would be good to see. But I still think when it comes to the crunch, any team that would want him, and there are plenty that would be improved by his presence, just in pure footballing terms, don't want the obvious, not just Trump, but obviously Trump will be like the cheerleader of it, of, these people are un-American, the Green Bay Packers are un-American. Actually, the Green Bay Packers don't need it, but you know what I mean.
No, but couldn't
the Jacksonville Jaguars are un-American, you know.
Yeah, they would never go to Jacksonville, but surely a coastal team maybe could withstand that kind of stuff and maybe even rally the fans.
Possibly, I suppose. Yeah, there probably are teams out there.
Like the Jets.
The Jets suck dick. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, always, but yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there are plenty of teams, like I say, who their current starting guy is not as good as him, and virtually every team, if not all teams on the league, their backup guy isn't as good as Kaepernick. So literally any team in the league would be improved. Their roster would be improved by him being there. But like I say, as soon as they sign the guy, or even move that they're going to, like they're drawing up a contract or whatever, Trump and his people will be swarming all over them. Yeah,
he's too busy with impeachment now. Oakland, John F. McDropout in the fat chat is like, maybe he could go to Oakland.
He could go to Oakland. He would be an interesting choice, possibly to be used in a running back slot, because obviously they've got Derek Carr. So he would be presumably the starter. Anyway, there are loads of fucking teams. Just look at the records. Anyone who's below 500 at this point,
needs them.
He would improve them, yes.
Yeah. But...
yeah. So... and he did look good. He was, I mean, just the ability to even throw a ball that far and throw it accurately to a guy running around is impressive, and he can run. So instantly he's better than a number of the guys in the league.
I just have a feeling I was watching him warm up, I wouldn't be watching the football. That's all I'm saying.
You'd be watching...
something other, padunkadunk. The padunkadunk.
She wants some cap.
Yeah, I'll add him to the mix. Logan Paul, KSI. Jump on in.
Lou Dobbs.
No, Lou Dobbs. No. You and Carl can fight over him.
Lou Dobbs has got that little face you just want to come all over, surely.
I don't think there's a German word for a face that you want to come all over. Maybe there is.
Kommensplatsen.
Like a fifth Geschichte or whatever, though. It's a very complicated word. They have long words in German.
Bunkenfassen.
What was going to be the word for the spunk trumpet? It was a Gilner. That was it.
A what?
A Gilner.
What the
a glinner.
fuck?
Sorry, a glinner. That was it.
A glinner.
A glinner. Yeah, a glinner.
Oh, yes, indeed. Oh.
Are you stretching now after all that violent, sexy dancing?
I am. Well, I was trying to say on my mic earlier, and Kristi.
Oh my God, so much dancing.
Yeah, because I completely fucked it up because. Well, I'm not even going to bother trying to explain this out. But you haven't heard it during the show, because I set the microphone up properly before we went live, so that my arms, as they flail about, weren't going to hit the microphone. So
that you can keep your violent, sexy dancing more to yourself.
Yeah, my violent, sexy dancing. Look, yeah, just because you didn't hear it, the violent, sexy dancing was going on throughout. Naturally, that's just like I say, my resting state. But I wasn't punching the shit out of the microphone stand as I usually do.
Not after we went on air. Before.
Not after, no, because I set up my microphone stand to make sure
it worked. It worked like a dream. Do you have it like coming in on top of you now?
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what I said. No, but is that how you set it up so that it's more over you, or how do you get your arms out of the way?
Yeah, well, it's basically, instead of, right, oh, for fuck's sake. I usually have a table off to the side of me where it's clamped, and so it's coming in from the side.
Yeah.
So that my left arm is, when I'm flailing my arms around, my left arm shoots up and punches the fucking microphone, or slaps it or knocks it in some way. Whereas now I've moved the table to in front of me.
Oh,
so I've got the mic literally pointing straight, like the mic stand is moving straight toward my face.
That I approve of this.
Yeah.
I approve of that location. And
the problem is, I'm lazy, and I'm going to have to move the table like 2 feet back and forward, and that's too much.
Well, just hang your headphones on it, and it'll be fine.
Are we talking about my erection now? What?
What? You're gonna dangle your angle over your microphone? No, I was just thinking you could hang your your headphones on that little table over your mic, and you get everything at once. So that way you're not just, because you always, never mind.
You're just saying noises with your face.
Yeah, that's where I am on a Sunday night. So with that, I think we should probably wrap this up, unless you have anything else that you wanted to talk to me about, or the peoples.
Well, I've got this kind of weird rash going on my balls. Can you check that out?
Do you want to turn on your camera?
Is it not been turned on?
I did.
So I've been doing this violent, sexy dancing for nothing. Oh.
I did mark this this show not suitable for children before because that's a new thing you have to do now. Like, am I gonna swear on this show, or I nothing that I produce should be shown to children?
No, we're not gonna fucking swear, you little shits.
The kind of stuff that you have to log into your parents' YouTube account to watch us. That's,
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can do that, you're old enough to listen, in my opinion.
Well, I personally think that children are the future. Treat them well, and I don't know the rest of the song.
Let them lead the way. But why would you let children lead the way? Because they're children. They don't know anything yet.
Yeah, sit them in a corner and tell them to shut the fuck up.
Just be quiet and I'll give you a cookie. Actually, looking at these cookies, those are some delicious looking Christmas cookies. I haven't made sugar cookies that look like that ever, but I could taste them. Like, I can imagine what they would taste like.
Ass.
No, they would be so good because there would be like a powdered sugar glaze and then little drops of frosting.
I can provide a glaze for you.
I'm sure you could, but could you decorate as well as those cookies are decorated?
Oh, there's plenty of icing to go around for everyone. Absolutely.
And color? Do you put? Is it amenable to food dyes? Green, purple, blue, red.
Well, I was producing lots of brown dye last week.
That's true. Well, I don't know if it was dye, but you were producing.
Well,
lots of brown.
I felt like I was about to fucking die. So I mean.
Bump.
Hey, there we go.
We're to the bands part of the show. Anything coming up on your channel or anywhere else, Kevin?
There's plenty coming up on my computer. Yeah.
But
I've got wet wipes. It's fine.
There you go.
Just a pro tip for you there, kids. No, I've got to do the ICMI Descent of Manosphere at some point, and it would make sense to do it in the same year it happened.
Yeah. So, maybe between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, that's still technically 2019. That works. Yeah. So, but I don't know. I'm too busy with watching paedophiles lie.
Yeah, or keeping up with horrible politics. Yeah, I know.
No, I was talking about Trump as well.
Okay. Oh, right. Got it. Right.
See what I did? Because they're both paedophiles who lie. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, then I guess it's pretty much happy hours.
We didn't even get around to the Ricky Gervais video.
Oh yeah, guys, I'm glad we didn't advertise that. I think I just put more politics because I wasn't quite sure I could stomach Carl after that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that was already pretty horrible. But maybe for another show we can just take a little preview of what dumb shit.
Let's save it for another time.
All right, we'll save it. We did see that Sargon put out a video defending Ricky Gervais, and we were going to drag him.
Well, you saw it. I
didn't watch it yet. I just saw it existed. But I just thought, Carlos...
Oh, right. So we don't even know. It could be shit then.
It could be entirely shit. Yeah, I don't preview the stuff.
No. I'll rephrase. It's going to be shit, but it could be boring and pointless to respond to.
Well, isn't everything Carl does boring and pointless to respond to?
I suppose technically yes, but some of it's funny at least.
Okay, all right.
Carl, if you're watching, which it's past 5 minutes, so there's no way you are anymore.
Right.
But if you were watching, I'd say, Carl, don't take that as like me saying you're naturally funny in the way you think you are. It's that you're so absurd that is humorous that you don't get how absurd you are.
Yeah.
Look, if you realised how fucking dense you are, you'd stop being funny.
Yeah, agreed. All right, and on that bombshell, I guess stick around because we're probably going to have another happy hour, but Tuesday after the Vindman testimony.
I don't know, I'm free in about half hour, so.
Okay, yeah, we could just do another one because presumably if we just check the news, there's another at least 8 hours worth of commentary to do.
Yeah, and people wonder why the Trump dump stopped. It's ridiculous. Imagine trying to do a week's worth of Trump.
You can't.
Impossible.
No.
Impossible. Just by the time you've written your script, it's already out of date.
Yeah.
So that's before you've even fucking filmed it and put it together. Totally out of date, gone. Yesterday's Fish newspaper, even though it's literally fucking 6 hours old.
Yes.
Pointless.
I mean, if you're not live streaming news these days, you're not keeping up.
But still, fuck you, Idaho.
All right.
That's a callback. It's a callback to that series.
And Montana. Oh, from the Trump dump.
Oh, was it Montana?
I thought it was Montana. I remember your callbacks better than you do.
Oh, I forget. Anyway, one of those fucking Hicktown fucking places, one of those shithole flyover states that need to be fucking concreted over. A lot of you.
Put up. Sorry, it just takes me back to the Alan Partridge about the problem with parking in Paradise.
Yeah. Yeah. Have they thought about the congestion alleviation around Paradise when they put that parking up?
All right. So say goodnight to the people's, Kev, because we should really wrap this up so we can talk off air and tell all the dirty jokes and say all the outrageous things we can't say on air.
Bum.
There you go. Dropped it like a bomb.
To put on that child-friendly filter now. Fuck off, YouTube.
All right, so thank you people in the chat for watching. I didn't really look too much at your stuff. I think I called out a couple of you, but appreciate it. Thank you guys stopping by. Thanks to the people watching in the future. Thanks to my co-host, Kevin. As always, I'm in such a better mood now than I was at the start of the show, which is kind of weird considering the content, but not when you consider where we ended up. Where we ended up was much...
Well, yeah, it was much better, yeah.
Much better.
But we had to get through the first half an hour.
We had to go deep, dark. Yeah, we had to
Let's look at a pedophile lie.
Yeah, yes. But then we did the second half of the show. So thank you for going on this journey with me. And
don't, because this sounds like one of those Oscar speeches now. Like, thanks for coming on this journey. I want to thank God. I want to thank my mom.
I want to thank my executive producer. I want to thank the cast. All right.
You're right. Get the fuck off the stage. You won best lighting. Well done. Sit down. No one cares.
All right. And with that, say goodbye, Kev, and your lighting.
Goodbye, Kev, and my high quality lighting.
You didn't do that. You did a partial bit.
Partial bit abortion.
Yes. Done. All right. See you guys later. Bye. All right. Stop streaming and stop streaming. Stop streaming.